Good morning, everyone, and happy Halloween. We are looking at conditions that are going to be on, well, the spooky side, the ghoulishly, gloomy side, as we've been talking about today. With the clouds, the rain, we've even had some scary snowflakes for some folks falling earlier this morning, and conditions that have just been more on the kind of Halloween picture kind of side, with even some fog to help kind of set that Halloween mood. So again, looking at conditions that are going to be a little bit on the gloomy side as we continue on through our forecast. So we're going to talk about what to expect as we are looking at trick-or-treating for tonight, and then heading into the day tomorrow and the weekend, what we can expect as we make our way through the weekend as well for your full Halloweekend plans. We're also transitioning into November, if you can believe it. Where did 2025 go? And then also talking about that daylight saving change that we'll be experiencing here coming up for the forecast. So just getting things set up here, ready to go. And we're looking at, again, it's a first alert weather day. That's something also we should mention, that we're first alerting you to not a big storm system or anything like that, but this is just, the first round of flakes and weather for the season here for some of us, and that can be a bit of a shock. And so we just wanted to give you a heads up. And of course, it's falling on a holiday, so conditions are going to be a little bit on the gloomy side for your holiday. We want you to be prepared for that. So I'm going to take a full screen view here of what we're looking at here on our DOT cam in East Grand Forks. You can see wet roads on this camera. We've been watching rain moving through, and again, even some snow moving through parts of the valley over the course of the morning and into this evening. We continue, or this, goodness, it's evening for me. I've been working for a while here today, but as we move into the afternoon, we will see conditions that are still going to kind of look like this here for today. Okay, so let's bring up the radar. There's our full screen view. You can see some areas where we've got some rain, and yes, even a little blue on the map. So we're going to step over and take a look at where our problem areas are at the moment. So you can see there are large areas that I first of all want to talk about where we're not getting any precip. So some breaks for a lot of those locations. And then there are spots where, again, we're seeing not just green, but also some blue on the map, indicating that we are, again, putting up with some showers here. Let's zoom in on some of these locations. We've got one pocket here that's producing a little more substantial rain, southern parts of Traill County, heading into north central parts of Cass County, so the Hunter area. Hillsborough looks like it's quieting down for you right now. The Amenia area, Arthur area, Grandin, again, seeing some showers. And these are rotating around an area of low pressure that's actually dropping from north to south through the valley, essentially. And as it's doing so, these showers are rotating around it. So we'll go back again to that shot, and you can, as we put it into motion, you can see they're kind of moving in from northeast to southwest, or even just north to south, essentially. So if you open up the VNN radar coming up here for, in a couple of hours to check on things, if you want to look mainly, I'm combining my words, north of you to see what's coming your way. And you could always put that into motion too. One reminder about the app, this is something that confuses folks sometimes, is you've got several different options on the radar to select. There's going to be a button, and maybe I'll put something together on this here soon to show you kind of on a graphic, but there's a button at the bottom right next to the timeline on the radar section where you can select past radar, past rain, past and future, or just future rain. And so sometimes that can confuse folks because we'll maybe not have much on the radar now, but maybe in an hour or so we're expecting, say, thunderstorms to develop during the summer season. So you push that button and you see storms and you're like, well, they're showing them on the map, but they're nowhere. That's because they haven't happened yet. So make sure you know what you're looking at when you are selecting the radar and putting it into motion, whether it's past, which is what this is. This is a loop. A radar loop is the past hour in this instance. I believe I've got this set to the past 2 hours, and then pausing at the now, at what's current. And then forecast models will go further beyond that. So hopefully that helps if there's been some confusion on our app at times for you. So again, we are tracking the rain. We're tracking a little bit of snow at times. Grand Forks seeing a little bit of rain right now. We've got this stretching along Highway 2 toward Michigan. And then one little pocket west of Cooperstown where we've got a little bit of blue, not much, but just a little pocket of blue there still, just over Binford at the moment. And then expanding the view, you can see Carrington. Carrington is an area that we did get confirmation from a viewer this morning, and another viewer late last night also emailed me to tell me that we've been seeing some snowflakes in that area. And then on the new Rockford DOT cam, I saw that this morning too, and shared that on social media on my page or the station page too. You can see that there as well. Back over to Woodworth in western Stutzman, seeing some blue on the map indicating a little bit of light snow too. And so we'll just zoom out a little bit more. This area of rain, I'm going to put this into motion. If it will go, there we go. This area of rain here, more moving directly south. So, you know, Fargo-Moorhead could see another round of rain, certainly. But this particular one looks like it's going to move down Highway 18 toward the Castleton area, more likely, as it continues to work its way around that low. And then I'm just looking to see if there are any other pockets. I've seen there's a little bit of light rain stretching from Perham, Fergus Falls, Pelican Rapids, back over to Wahpeton, Breckenridge. And then right on the Sisseton Hills, and in fact it lines up with the Catota Prairie area in northeastern South Dakota, where the radar is indicating that the rain is actually snow in that little bit higher elevation there. So again, watching for some flakes, but most of this is falling as rain right now and has been in general. It's just there's been a couple of pockets where we've seen some snow mixed in. The wind not too bad right now. It's out of the north. We've got some gusts over to the west that are into the 20s, and that's going to increase. The aerial coverage of gusts into the 20s will increase as the day goes on. So eventually that kind of spreads more into the valley. So get a little breezier. That has an impact on how it feels to be outside. And you can see that it's just gloomy here on our sky cam in Fargo. We're looking on our Newman Outdoor Field cam, looking over NDSU's campus and downtown Fargo in the distance there, and then the overcast skies. So Grand Forks reporting some showers right now, just as we saw on the radar just a few minutes ago. Fergus Falls reporting some rain. Notice temperatures aren't in a hurry to warm up. We're in the upper 30s to some low 40s, so just a degree or two warmer than where we were even just as we started off the day today. So again, conditions are going to be on that gloomy side, on that cool side all day long, and it's going to be a struggle to warm up. I'm just opening up our camera from the, see if I can minimize that. Sorry guys, I want to show you our Grand Forks cam just to show you what we've got going on there as far as rain is concerned. Okay, we're going to pull that up for you here. You can see that we've got some wet streets in Grand Forks at the moment. If you look on our camera, that is at UND, the aerospace camera there at the Department of Atmospheric Sciences, showing some wet roads as traffic goes by with the rain showers that have been coming down in that area. Okay, so again, it's gloomy out there in the valley. That's the bottom line. Let's take a look at what we can expect as we work our way into the afternoon, into the evening, in time for trick-or-treating here this evening. So we'll move ahead in our hour-by-hour planner. This is 4 p.m. So I mentioned that low, it's going to continue working southward, so it's going to bring its impactful weather with it. And so it's going to depart the northern valley first, and the southern valley will see that rain chance hang around a little longer. So by 4 p.m., I'm not saying that we're not going to have any more rain in the north. I think there's still a possibility, but the aerial coverage of it, the likelihood of rain, that probability of rain is greater in the south, closer to the low. And you can see that on that model here too, that we're seeing some spotty areas of rain still going on there. By 8 p.m., breaks in the clouds, but you can see there's still some pockets here. So what I'm hopeful for is that more and more of us have a dry trick-or-treat as the evening goes on. But one thing to keep in mind is that you might just be that unlucky one that has that one rain shower pass overhead. So be prepared for that. And I suggest you check the app and check the radar before you step outside. Because if you see it's looking pretty quiet and clear north of you, you might be able to get away with not having to drag the umbrella along with your costumes, along with your candy buckets and bags, as well as you go out and about to do your trick-or-treating. But still, again, it's looking a little more promising that more places we'll be able to get away with not dealing with the precipitation, but it's not a 0% chance here heading into tonight. And the other thing to mention is the cool weather and the wind. That'll be a factor too to be outside. So as we take a look at our forecast heading into overnight and into tomorrow morning, generally speaking, we're looking at things kind of quieting down here as we head into tomorrow morning. So afternoon planner, look at our temperatures. We're going to be seeing those numbers into basically a degree or two warmer than where we are now, into the upper 30s to some low 40s, with a bit of a breeze coming in for us as well. And taking a look at your trick-or-treat forecast, we are expecting to have some temperatures that are on that downward trend. So early on in trick-or-treating, we'll be closer to that 42-degree high in Fargo, but by 7 o'clock, we're looking at temperatures that are already dipping into the 30s, and that's for Fargo. Places up north may not even hit 40 today, so more 30s there. And when we factor in a little bit of wind, it's going to feel even cooler, closer to freezing. So I want to layer up that costume here. Now, I do want to talk about wind. That's going to be a factor for us in the coming days. For tonight, this is 7:30 for trick-or-treating. We've got that wind out of the north. Any area in yellow here, shaded in yellow, that's where we're looking at winds in that 15 to 30 mile per hour range for gusts. I'm thinking 20 miles per hour, 20 to 25 for a lot of places. But again, there's going to be some wind coming in for tonight, making it feel even chillier than it already is. And then once we get into the morning hours tomorrow, we get a little bit of a break. But once we push into Saturday night, this is about 10 p.m. So most of the daytime hours Saturday, not too bad when it comes to wind. But Saturday evening, we'll see that wind start to pick up. And then that sets us up for a windy day on Sunday. Sunday morning, orange colors here, that's 30 to 45 mile per hour gusts. And then moving on into the evening, there's the potential there may be some areas in that 45 plus range, more likely in the northern valley as a low passes by to the north. We're going to see a front sweep through Saturday night and into Sunday, and that will bring about a little bit of a wind shift, but we're also going to see warming temperatures as well as we head into Sunday too. So that's your Halloweekend. One thing that might be spooky too is that we are, of course, moving into daylight saving time changes this weekend. It ends as we head into your Sunday morning. So a reminder about that, we want to turn our clocks back at 2 a.m. on Sunday morning. You can do that before you go to bed. And these days, a lot of us, our digital clocks do it for us. We don't have to worry about it. But if you got one of these analog clocks at home, you're going to need to turn those back an hour before bed, or when you wake up, but just a reminder that you're going to want to do that. This is also a really good time to make sure you're testing your smoke alarms and your carbon monoxide detectors. We've had some tragedies with carbon monoxide. Of course, we've had fires recently. We want to make sure that we've got that alert ready for us. So it's often recommended that on the days that we change our clocks twice a year, that we test these and make sure they're working well. So really great reminder as we're heading into the colder winter months when we start closing up our houses. Heading into the overnight hours, if you are lucky, we get an extra hour of sleep. I've heard from you guys over the years that not everybody gets that, especially folks with young kids, folks with pets. They're on their clock, and they're not paying attention to what the time actually says. When they're up, and I know that can interrupt that extra hour of sleep, but hopefully you get that. Everybody does. And then this is when the sun rises and sets an hour earlier, so we're shifting that to an hour earlier to its actual natural time. We're unnaturally off time when we're on daylight saving time. So we'll see our sunrise on Sunday morning now at 7:11. This will be great for early risers because we're still dark. Our sunrise this morning was at 8:08, and we're still dark leading up to that. That means it's dark out at the bus stop for students. It's just dark getting going for the day. And what I've heard about psychologists say that it's important to get that early morning sunshine. So it's good in that regard. But I know it's going to be tough to have that sunset get back to that 5 o'clock hour. 5:09 is when the sun will set for Sunday. And so that, of course, means we're leaving work in the dark. For a lot of folks who work 9 to 5 jobs, that's going to be tough. But that's just the way it goes as we head into these darker months. Just know, on November 2nd, or actually it'll be November 3rd, officially at 2 a.m. when those clocks go back, we're only a month and a half away from the winter solstice, and after that, we start gaining daylight again. So there is that light at the end of the tunnel with this change in our daylight here. So one thing to keep in mind for the weekend again is that we've got the wind kicking in as we head into the weekend. Saturday will be quieter, will be a little bit warmer than today, slightly warmer. High of 46 in Fargo, 43 in Grand Forks. We'll get to see a little more sunshine too. And then Sunday, a lot warmer, but windier too. We're going to see those temperatures getting into the low 50s to even 60 potentially, especially out by Jamestown. It's just going to be on the windy side to go along with that on Sunday. So it kind of takes a bite out of that warming temperature that we'll be experiencing. But it does set us up for early next week. We're going to be seeing our temperatures on a milder note heading into Monday and Tuesday as we're kicking off that first week of November. Once we head into the end of the week, this is where we're going to watch for our next system, specifically for Friday and into Saturday. And of course, that timing on that's kind of inconvenient or maybe convenient depending on your plans and what actually happens. Because Friday is the deer opener in North Dakota, in Minnesota, it's Saturday, and we're looking out for the potential for some rain and some snow with this system and some wind as well. And I know I hear from hunters who say they like snow because then you can track the deer with the snow, the hoof prints in the snow. But I think what's going to happen is because temperatures, the ground's still warm, temperatures are going to be pretty warm in the afternoons, that it's going to melt pretty quickly if we see any accumulation. And again, there's still a question of exactly what type of precip we'll see. So that'll be the next one to watch heading into the following weekend coming up for us here. So, you know, starting off not too bad for this first week of November, but it is going to be a gloomy, cool, kind of spooky Halloween as we are going about our day and going about our trick-or-treating for tonight. Want to make sure you've got your layers and you've got all your safety gear too, you know, that high visibility Halloween costume, and we're just staying safe here for tonight and warm. And, you know, it might be a good idea just to have that umbrella on hand or have a clear poncho over your Halloween costume if you have one at home, given the fact that there is that chance for some rain. But my fingers are crossed that everybody can get out and trick-or-treat and not be too impacted by the weather for tonight. Still, it's always good to be prepared, and it's definitely going to be cool. You're going to want to make sure you're layering up to stay warm. So I hope everybody has a great Halloween, has a lot of fun, and stay safe here tonight, heading into the weekend as well. And we'll have another update coming up this afternoon on the forecast and on trick-or-treating for tonight. And then heading into the weekend as well, we'll be keeping you up to date. And I'll be back here on Monday, and we'll be getting into the forecast for those first days of November, and we'll be previewing the hunting opener as well for next week. So in the meantime, have a great weekend and happy Halloween.